John was at the campus forge sharpening crochet moors on a whetstone. Then, funny enough, a fat man with a mustache was also there to fix up his blunderbuss axe. When he saw his weapon, John internally cringed at the axe blades on the handle. He can't believe someone was stupid enough to go with that design concept. The gun would more than injure the user than his target. Port noticed the young man glancing at him as he went back to his work. Port. It's often nice to see young kids being more responsible and aware of their equipment. He noticed the large blade and its unique design. Port. A two-headed Aquila. I've never seen such a creature before. But the craftsmanship is impeccable. John nods at the old man's praise. Port. Well, I hope you're ready for the trials, my boy. Someone as prepared as you will have no problem breezing past the initiation. He left a little chipper seeing a prudent young man. John finished his maintenance and checking. Now here comes the part that will draw attention. He undergoes the rites of the Space Marine, donning his armor. His weapon's a power sword, a triangle storm shield, a bolt pistol, as he kept his bolter tucked away for future use. He now walks the grounds, causing loud metallic steps, making others curious as to what was making the noise. John stride to the launch pads where he was greeted by Ashpin and Glinda, the latter surprised at the armored behemoth. Ashpin. "Ah, Mr. Ark, it's so nice of you to join us." John. "I can't say I'm glad to be here, but what's the mission?" Ashpin. "I will explain when all the participants have arrived." He hands him a mug. Ashpin. "Coffee." John. "A whole lot better than that recaf garbage." He removed his helm as Glinda couldn't believe someone so young could be so towering. There was something funny about a giant metallic figure holding a small cup, gently drinking from it. The others arrived only to be intimidated by the Space Marine. Nora. "Look, Rennie. A giant." Ren. "Nora, keep it down, we don't want to offend the man." Yang. "Man, if you're that big, imagine what you're packing." Ruby. "Can you not be gross when you meet certain boys?" Yang. "That's my friend." Hey, John. "Hi, Ruby." Ruby. "You didn't say you had a full suit of armor." John. "I said it was a surprise." Surprised yet? Ruby. It makes you look huge." "What are those weapons you have there, big too?" Glinda. "Ahem." Ruby scrambled at attention while John was just standing there menacingly. Ashpin. "All right, everyone, your objective in this initiation is to recover relics, one for each person. While you do so, you must also form a team. This situation is often an occurrence on a huntsman's lifestyle, where you must form allies on the most godforsaken places. It teaches you adaptability, compromise, and even leadership. In trying times to adversity, a leader often shines. In there lies an unspoken rule. Whoever your eyes meets first will be your partner." Ruby. "What?" Glinda. "Quiet, Miss Rose. And on that note, the relics are matched to 4 copied. Whichever you choose, those with matching pieces will be your teammates for the remainder of your stay here." John felt a pair of eyes on him as he scanned around and saw Pyrrha waving at him, and he waved back. Ashpin. "Now, for the hard part, the Emerald Forest is infested with Grim. This test also shows us your survival skills. You must often work in enemy territory, so you should be also ready to work alone. Now let's begin." One by one, the students were flung into the sky. Ruby ready crescent rows and nods at the Space Marine. Then she was launched. Yang put on her aviators and was ceremoniously launched as well. The lastly, Pyrrha was sent ahead. But when it was John's turn, he wasn't launched. Ashpin and Glinda was puzzled they didn't plan on this. They looked to the launch pad and noticed smoke coming from it. Glinda. "It appears to be a short circuit." Ashpin. "No, Glinda, the pad is working. It's Mr. Ark, how much does that armor weigh?" John. "A couple of tons." That got both of them to gawk. John. "The armor is servo-assisted, but I guess the pad couldn't handle the overload." "Allow me." He jumped off the cliff a few feet away as he crashed into the trees and charged through the forest. They hear the sound of loud sounds of bolter fire. Even a bolter pistol was overkill. Jaune moved past Grimm some not worth the trouble, only a boy shell in the head. He found the body of one student who was not prepared to be assaulted by many Grimm. Jaune just bowed his head. The boy was in way over his head. Here lies Sirius, a boy who thought he could impress the ladies by being a huntsman, severely underestimating the line of work's hazard. Fucking Simpo sees. She was aiming for vital points and trying to end her battle swiftly, as she dispatched the last Beowulf with ease. Jaune, I see you have taken my advice about taking things seriously. Kira, oh hello there, and yes, after our conversation, I looked to all of my old fights and all I saw was just what you told me to show. Jaune, good, that means you're growing up. She noticed an Ursa sneaking behind him, but he raised his left arm and aimed his bolter under it, killing the Ursa in one shot. The sound of the gun startled her, especially the force it held to blow an Ursa head clean off. Kira, what ammunition does your gun uses? Jaune, standard bolt rounds. Kira, bolt. Kira, I think that's overkill if you use it on a person. Jaune, yes indeed, but don't worry, I only use it against Grimm. But my sword is more than enough for the task against people. Kira, well, I guess we're partners, Mr. Smith. Jaune would suffice, Ms. Nikos. Kira, here's a deal, I call you Jaune and you call me Kira, and besides, Ms. Nikos is usually my mother. Jaune, accepted. Kira, damn father and his formalities. They wander about to find the relics and found themselves at the mouth of a cave. Kira, I don't think it's here. Jaune, better to check rather than make a mistake. He walks forward as heavy footsteps echoed while Kira delayed a bit, making a torch. Kira, that armor, are you a soldier perhaps before you became a smith? Jaune, no. This armor is of my making, taking lessons from my uncles and studying the army my father leads. Kira, who is your father? Jaune, that is private information. Kira, please respect my boundaries. Kira, sorry, I was just curious. Jaune, curiosity often kills the cat. Somewhere else a faunus in hiding sneezed. Back 2. He noticed cave drawings as he puts his hand over it. Jaune, this must be a warning for others. Kira caught up. Kira, how could you tell? It's dark in here, here let me. She tries to aim her torch to the wall but was gestured by Jaune to stand down. Jaune, I have natural night vision. Kira, I can see clearly in this darkness. Kira, are you a faunus? Jaune, no, human with some added benefits. Kira, strange, only faunus have a natural night vision. Jaune, hold on. Something in here with us. Then they heard a low growl as he aimed his bolt pistol towards the source of the noise. Then he opened fire when it moved to charge. Jaune, Kira, head for the exit. I'll deal with this. She tried to help him, but he urged her to find the exit. Kira was the first one out, and she heard multiple shots fired, then something crashed through the opening. It was a Deathstalker with Jaune riding its face with crochet moors stabbed onto its hard shell as he fired his bolt pistol into the opening he made. They crashed through some of the trees until it finally stopped to a complete halt. As Jaune dropped off and Kira jogs next to him. Kira, that was amazing. It takes a team of huntsmen to put it down. He noticed the thing looking at them, gurgling with some kind of blood from its wounds. Jaune then aimed at its face and fired one last time, killing it. Jaune, that thing's carapace was tough, although it took 9 rounds to put it down. Still a surprising challenge. I'm impressed. Well, let's continue searching. Kira, yeah, we still haven't formed a team yet, partner. Jaune, you sure are excited. Kira, well, it's finally a refreshing sight that I'm not the only one who's strongest among the first years. Jaune, being on a pedestal sucks. Kira, tell me about it.